Hey, good morning, class. Today is Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. That's right, it is May 5th. Please make sure you send Senora Robinson a little comment today, wishing her a happy Cinco de Mayo. Your learning targets today, starting with Math Board. You're going to go into Math Board fractions. Please do the ordering fractions quiz, okay? You're going to put those fractions in order. Splash Math, your lesson today is level 6. You're going to continue focusing on mixed numbers as fractions. In Epic today, I'm going to change it up a little bit. Instead of reading about the human body, you're going to watch a couple videos on the brain, the eyes, the ears, and there's a few more. So check those out. All right, in Splash Math today, you're going to see examples like this. Write 2 and 1/5 as a fraction. Well, 2 and 1/5 is already a fraction. That's actually known as a mixed number. It's mixed because it has a whole number, 2, and a fractional number, 1/5. And you can see here the picture of 2 whole and 1 out of 5. So this is 2 wholes and 1/5. But they want to change it to an improper fraction. And I know this because there's only a numerator and a denominator. There's no whole number space here. Like you see here, a whole number. You just see a fraction. So we need to change 2 and 1/5 into an improper fraction. Basically, when you have pictures, you just count each one of these fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are all fifths, but there's actually a total of 11 of them combined. So our improper fraction is 11/5. And mathematically, if you don't always have a picture, here's the strategy that I've taught you. You've got a denominator of 5, and that's what this means. There's 5 parts that make up a whole. But you actually have 2 wholes. So you've got 5 parts times 2. That's 5 parts 2 times. So that's a total of 10/5. And then you just go right around and add that extra 1/5. So it's 5 times 2 plus 1 more. And when you do that operation, you'll come to the conclusion that 11 is your numerator and we keep 5 as our denominator because these are still fifths in the end. In this example, we're actually going to work the other way around. 5/3, as you can see, is an improper fraction. Again, the definition of an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator, which is a big sign that you have more than one whole. Sometimes, depending how big the numerator is, you might have even more than 2 whole. But in this case, if I'm looking at the picture, I can see that I have 1 whole and 2 extra thirds. Okay, thirds because there's 3 parts. 3 parts. I've got 1 whole cake and 2 out of 3 of the next one shaded. Okay, so as a mixed number, you would call this 1 whole and 2 thirds. As an improper fraction, you can see that you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thirds. And if you've been watching the lessons, you know that when you see an improper fraction like 5 thirds, basically this is a division problem. We place the numerator inside. The denominator, 3, is placed on the outside of this division problem. So we have the problem 5 divided by 3. So I ask myself, can 3 go into 5? Yes, it can, 1 time. 3 times 1 is 3. When I subtract and get the difference 2, in this case, it's not a remainder. We're going to call that our numerator out of 3, our denominator here. So there you go. That's how you change an improper fraction like 5/3 into a mixed number like 1 and 2 thirds. Another example, we have in this case 7/3. You should notice right away that 7/3 is an improper fraction. So I'm going to write improper fraction is 7/3. Basically, again, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total parts shaded, and each cake is cut into thirds. All right, so how do we change this into a mixed number? Well, we can see here we've got 1 whole cake, 2 whole cakes, and 1/3 of the next cake. So our mixed number would be 2 whole and 1/3. Nice to see when you have a picture, but what do you do when you don't have a picture? That's right, it's a long division problem. Again, remember your numerator goes inside the division problem, known as our dividend. The denominator, 3, is placed outside the division problem, which is known as our divisor. So basically we're going to say, can 3 go into 7? Yeah, it can go into 7 2 whole times. 3 times 2 is 6. When we do our subtraction step, that part that we have remaining normally is a remainder in a long division problem. But if I'm trying to solve this as a mixed number, that becomes your numerator. 3 becomes your denominator. So 2 1/3 is equivalent to 7/3. Okay? And I can check this using the other strategy. What's 3 times 2? That's 6. And 6 plus 1 makes 7. And then you'll see examples like this. Which of the following is equal to 1 2/4? Well, 1 2/4 is our mixed number. And they're trying to decide which one of these two down here below shows the improper fraction. So you just got to work through. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Does this equal 10/4? Now, if you're following that strategy, 4 times 1, that's 4. And that's what we see here. 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we add 2. And that would make a total of 6. So 6/4 would be our improper fraction. Again, I showed this strategy. You're going to do 4 times 1 in your mixed number, which is 4, plus 2 more makes that numerator 6 out of 4. One more example in Splash Math. Which fraction is equal to 2 3/4? Well, that's our mixed number. It's 2 3/4 is the mixed. How do we change that to an improper fraction? Well, we've got some choices here, but I'm going to show you the strategy one more time. Mathematically, we would take the denominator 4, multiply it by 2. That produces an 8, plus 3 more makes an 11. So this would be equal to 11/4 would be our improper fraction here. All right, this week we're going to continue focusing on the human machine, the human body, and what it's actually capable of. Yesterday you learned about the muscles in our biceps and how they flex. And thanks to Evan, we were able to see a robot finger produced using the science experiment from Mystery Doug. So today we're going to continue. If you search in Epic and type in the human body, make sure you're selected on all. These are videos. And they're cute little songs that I thought some of you might enjoy. It's a little change from reading. But take a look at these. There are a total of 7 videos that talk a little bit about the human body. What I'd like for you to do is choose 3 videos that you're interested in. Just choose 3. Okay, so you decide which 3 will you pick. And then after watching and listening to them, then I would like for you to post some facts that you learned inside the comments where this post was made today. Okay? Don't create a new post. Just go below in the comments from today's post on Tuesday, May 5th, and add to the comments today. So I appreciate the good mornings and how are you and what you did, but today let's fill up those comments with facts from the brain or the ears or the eyes or the skeleton, whatever video you choose to watch. So once again, your learning targets: Math Board Fractions, Ordering of Fractions Quiz, Splash Math Level 6, Mixed Numbers and its Fractions, and the Human Body. Watch 3 videos. And I'd like to wish you a happy Cinco de Mayo.